So let's get started with sending HTTP requests to this dummy backend which we configured in the previous lecture. And I will get started in the new item.dart file. There we have this save item method where we validate the form and get all the entered values. And at the moment we're then moving back to the previous screen and we're passing the newly added data along. And this is absolutely something we can do, but at the moment, of course, the data would therefore only be stored locally on the device. And actually, not even that. At the moment, it would only be stored in memory, to be honest. If you would want to store it on the device, you would have to take some extra steps, about which you will also learn a little bit later in an extra section. But at the moment, we would only store the data locally in memory. And this might be enough for some apps, but here we're going to practice working with HTTP and backends, and we're going to send that data to a backend instead, to this Firebase backend here to be precise, to make sure that it's getting stored there in this Firebase real-time database, in this case here. So how can we do this? Well, first of all, we need to be able to send HTTP requests. And this can be done with an extra package, which you can add to your Flutter project. And that would be the HTTP package. If you search for Flutter HTTP, you should find its site here on pub.dev. And there you can, of course, learn more about this package and how it works, and also how it should be installed by running this command here, essentially. And you can also read the README thereafter to learn how it's used, but of course we are going to use it together. So here I'm running flutter pub add HTTP to install this package. And with it installed, we can get started with it. For this here, in new item.dart, we can import this HTTP package, and then from there, the http.dart file. And I now recommend adding something to this import statement, something which we haven't added before, but which is useful for this package here. I recommend adding as HTTP. Now the as keyword here is an important keyword, and in the end it tells Dart that all the content that's provided by this package should be bundled into, you could say, an object of this name here. So in this case HTTP, but this could be any name of your choice. But HTTP makes a lot of sense because it's a lot of HTTP functionality that's exported by this package. I'm doing this because this makes interacting with this package and the functionalities provided by that package simply a bit easier. And with that added, we can now use it here in save item to send a request after validating and after calling save. So once we do have our data available, and we will send this request with help of this HTTP object-like thing, which we created here with help of as.